Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing the narration and character voice acting for the side story So Long, ADELE. And considering this is now gonna be part 2, the usual is gonna be part of the spiel here at the beginning, but before we begin with anything regarding that, for anybody who bumps into the narration through this episode, especially if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. The playlist is in the description of the video, so you can start from the beginning and hear a bit about the ramble of pre-stories and stuff that is part of part 1. So thank you very much and enjoy! And of course, to anybody else who watched part 1, thank you very much for all the likes and the comments as usual, much appreciated. Always enjoy seeing all the interaction and interacting with you guys through the comments and discussing either the part or the story in general. So thank you very much. One thing I would like to point out from the actual comment section from last time is a very interesting comment that piqued my interest, and it comes from a commentator by the name of Maya30. So first off, thank you for the comment and bringing that to my attention. And what they said in the comment was that apparently this story is retconning a lot of stuff from Heart of Surging Flame, apparently. Now, I am not sure what is being retconned so far. However, I will say this. If something does come up and I notice it, I will point it out in the story in the episodes as I'm narrating, of course. However, if I'm not noticing it in that current part, and I kind of skimmed over it or missed it or it just flew over my head, do point it out to me, because I would love to see what the differences are. Apparently one of the comments in response to that was something about Swire's grandfather, being the case of that retcon, but I haven't really seen, but again, Swire's grandfather was not mentioned at all in Heart of Surging Flame from what I remember. But yeah, anyway, don't know what the retcon stuff is so far. So far from what I've seen, everything is in line with the previous story, at least with the big plot points, aka the whole lead up to the volcano crisis and the lead up to the city, essentially its population having to be moved to from a actual physical in-place on-land city, aka Siesta, to the nomadic city, which is now New Siesta. So I'm not sure what is retcon here. So far everything is alright. They keep mentioning stuff from the past as well, from the from Siesta, Obsidian Festival, yada yada. So again, if in any of the parts coming in the future, if someone sees anything that is retconned from the previous story, do point it out, because I'm really curious now. But yeah, so far I haven't noticed anything, so I'm very curious. But yeah, Maya, thank you for the comment. I will keep my peepers out and try and see if I can spot the differences, but like I said, right now I haven't spotted anything major. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for that. And one little other detail, hey, look, I managed to capture the night team for this opening. Nice. Actually gonna have that in the episodes as well, so I'm very happy. Anyway, we shall now begin with the usual quick recap of part 1. So if you want to skip over that, the timestamps for that are always in the description, in the pinned comment by me, down there if you want to just jump to the story section. But yeah, anyway, let's begin with a quick on the previous part. We began our story last time with a quick little look into a flashback sequence, someone talking to themselves, humming to themselves, trying to remember something, talking to someone else, and then we fast forwarded to present time, in the story at least. We saw all of our characters being introduced one by one. Essentially we saw Swire and Snowsand, who are there together on a little, as Swire likes to call it, a vacation, but Swire is there to do some very heavy business, essentially buying against Bison to have rights to a newly built plate of the city. Aya, who is there also on her own, is visiting the volcanic museum of the city, and we get introduced to a couple of new characters, or rather one more prominent new character, which is one of our new operators here as well, who goes by his real name of Ennis. However, on their trip through the city, Swire notices that she and She and Snowsand are being followed, and she immediately grabs the first person who she sees with a car and stacks quite a lot of money apparently into their hands. That person is Ennis. At first being reluctant, then accepts after the second stack of cash gets handed to him, and he drives the two of them through the city. Swire notices later that they are also being pursued by another car, and she prompts Ennis to step on the gas and lose the pursuer, and he manages to do so, but also manages to wreck the engine of the car. But they do arrive at the restaurant that his mother is handling. We also see then Ea in the museum as she is looking over a memorabilia of her mother's, aka the very same coat that she is wearing in her altar form, which is a protective coat used for volcanology to protect from the heat and potential hits of lava, even though they do describe it that old model of protective gear wasn't the best, but it still obviously carries a lot of memories for Ea. She also meets someone else at the museum. First she meets another volcanologist, or rather scientist, by the name of Keller, an older woman who was also an acquaintance and a fellow researcher together in the field with her two parents. Later on she would also meet another old acquaintance who goes by the name of Khan, who, if you're German, is probably a very blessed name if you follow German sports, but if you are very familiar with the name from Star Trek, yeah. I think I made it obvious in the previous part. But anyway, the two of them exchange pleasantries, and they move on. Meanwhile, Swire and Snowsand meet with Bison, who encounters them at the restaurant of Ennis's family, and the two start talking business. They're definitely trying both to get the rights to the new plate for their own purposes, and funnily enough, obviously not a single one of them has any nefarious kind of dealings with the plate. They both want what's the best for the city, yet who is gonna be the winner we shall, I guess, see by the end of this story. One has probably better plans for the city than the other one, but we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, Ea is being escorted by Ennis. Sorry, not by Ennis, by Khan back to her accommodations, and she runs into, as they split ways, she runs into a old acquaintance. Or new acquaintance? That's a big question mark there. But we also see another character of this story, Poncirus, who is somewhere. She's on the way somewhere. We're gonna learn a tiny bit more where she was in today's part, but more on that later. Back to Ea and her meeting with the sheep. She meets a very interesting looking, fluffy, big sheep who introduces itself with the name Dolly. Dolly takes Ea for a run through the city, aka for a walk rather, and as they are talking, we do get explained that only certain people can see Dolly and all of Dolly's clones, essentially, that are everywhere, and they are appearing to Ea, obviously. Dolly shows Ea to the new plate, where a bunch of containers are being stacked with goods, and Ea sees a bunch of little sheep, little fluffy pink-black sheep there, including one who hasn't gotten her fluff yet and is just a tiny little black young sheep. Dolly tells Ea that he will tell her essentially what she wants to know, the questions she wants to ask, but Ea needs to find 3 things for Dolly first, and once she succeeds with that, she will get the answers she wants. In the meantime, in the city, we see multiple other characters interact and form plans and talk business, as Swire and Bison do, but also we see a short little meeting between the mayor of the city, Herman, and the head of MountainDash Logistics, aka Bison's father, whose name is currently escaping me, and it's Uriel. That's it. Thank you. Okay, thank you, brain. You remembered. Holy shit, I remember the name. But yeah, they exchange a couple of words as they are discussing business and the potential future of the city. But yeah, that is pretty much where we left off last time. So, how about we proceed into today's part? Today we shall be covering the story from stages 2, 3 and 4 in their entirety. One quick thing before I begin with stage number 2. I want to say one thing because in part number 1 I did say that I'll look into if I'll be able to include also Swire Alter and Swire Originals file and voice files for both of them in the future parts. So this one would be one of the future parts. However, because I'm already spread very thin with that, because there are other operator records that need to go up on the channel, including I also want to promote Ea before the final episode. I'm very spread thin on on any kind of upgrade material, so sadly Swire's Alter will not happen, and therefore I don't want to introduce Swire Originals full file and voice file, because I would be missing the other one, and you know, it would be kind of weird to do one without the other. But anyway, just wanted to say that very quickly before we begin, so that you know what's up. Today's part will be including just the story bits. But anyway, let us begin on stage number 2, titled Little Boy Blue. One quick thing that I want to point out as well, I was suspicious of the titles of this, of these stages, and essentially, from what I found on the trivia section for this, all of the titles are essentially, I think titles, if I remember correctly right now, of like songs and nursery rhymes essentially. So there's your little trivia. But anyway, stage number 2, Little Boy Blue. Can't see it in the pool, can't see it in the sky. Dip it into strawberry ice cream, and the soft and fluffy has nowhere to hide. Let's start. On our radio. Good morning, Siesta. Today is August 16th, 1099. The humidity is 75%, visibility 18 kilometers, winds blowing south-southwest. Estimated 15 days until volcanic eruption. While it's a fine day outside, we would like to remind everyone to refrain from going into the water beyond the coast outside the nomadic city. Remember that the calm surface of the sea hides countless hidden reefs and undercurrents, just like the many troubles beneath the surface of a calm life. Here's a little pick-me-up for this sunny morning. Life always goes on. Brought to you by the Bones and Bones Band. 7 AM, wake from a dream, kissing the one I love. Open my eyes, same old story. Sunlight and trouble after me. Welcome, our first customer of the day, as expected. Are you bringing me any better news than an erupting volcano this fine morning? The news I bring would be so bad if you would be less stubborn, Harley, ma'am. Don't call me ma'am, I'm not that old. I'll give you a few minutes just because it's nice outside. What's the story this time? Employment subsidies and tax breaks. Forget it. And what employment are you talking about exactly when we move to the city center? Can't be any worse than a shopping street with no tourists. You're not the only one on this street, Harley, and some of your neighbors are willing to sign this memorandum of understanding. And I won't be the only one giving you an earful. I suggest you people figure out what the folks who live here really want. 2 years ago, Herman told us this bloody volcano was going to blow. 2 years later, a volcano is still there, with nothing to show for the trouble that the people of Siesta have had to go through. Except for guys like you coming out with a nice job at City Hall. The white volcano isn't just a house, it's a home to me and 3 children. We've already had to move once on account of a volcano. Herman can't make us move again, especially when it's not clear he's sober when he tells us to. Harley, this isn't just one person's home. This is my place, my life. Don't tell me what to do, or I'm gonna kill you. I love this song. Alright, then Costa, or should I say Mr. City Hall? Excuse me, are you still hiring singers? Now, very quickly before I continue with this scene here with AI in the museum, for those of you who are only listening, or rather mostly listening to these episodes, for this next section I would recommend paying attention to the screen because, let's put it this way, you don't wanna miss it. Anyway, you're looking at the Siesta volcanic originium slug. Living in a volcanic habitat has caused them to evolve vastly different characteristics and habits from originium slugs elsewhere, a matter of considerable interest to biologists. Interestingly, the activities of these originium slugs continue to follow the patterns of Siesta volcanic activity, even though they have been removed from their native habitat and placed in a temperature-controlled box. It's a prominent example of how organisms and their environment interact with each other. Not bad, Eyjafjalla. Swire, are you here on vacation? You could say that. Here to enjoy a rare summer break. What about you? This might be the first time I've seen your researcher side. I'm just here to help with the museum archives. You seem to have the attention of the tourists. I even saw people taking notes. And I have a question for you too. Would you tell me more about these exhibits? Am I imagining things, or is Swire more interested in land prices around the museum than the exhibits themselves? Land prices? Mr. Dolly? Why are you... No need to look surprised. Again, because there are a lot of pictures of volcanoes in this house. What is a land price? How much you have to pay to get a piece of land. The more prosperous a place is, the more expensive the land tends to be. Interesting. Humans put a price on land. Volcanic craters must be the most expensive then. Not really. Anyway, is it really okay for you to be here with so many people around? There's nothing to worry about. Dolly takes a little leap and lands on Swire's head. Swire! What is it? Why are you looking at me like you've seen a ghost? It's nothing. Oh, your hat's a little off. Let me fix it for you. See? She didn't notice at all. Isn't that astonishing? It's rude to stand on people's heads. I know. That's the annoying thing about dealing with you humans. It's why only those who interest me can perceive me. Less trouble that way. It's getting late. I'll be going. Don't forget our agreement. Eyjafjalla? Hello? Eya? Oh, sorry, I got distracted.
Aya? Your new nickname. I just came up with it.
You mean the Arknights community came up with it like 4 years ago?
Give yourself some time to relax. You're in Siesta after all. We can go to the hot springs together.
Delivery for the museum. Anybody home?
Hello?
Package for the museum. Can you sign for it?
Oh, okay. From Leithanian, William University, probably Professor Keller.
The box is filled with documents and samples with a letter inside. Half of the envelope is missing, revealing a photo, the edges of which look almost bitten off.
Is this Mount Una? Excuse me!
Is there a problem? This letter was sent from Leithanian and this is the delivery address. Everything should be in order.
Do you know who the sender is, or when was it sent? Sorry to bother you, but this is important.
The sender's information should be on the envelope?
Well...
Oh, I remember now. There was a letter with a damaged envelope. The original messenger for this batch called in sick. The letter was already like that when I got it. This was the only place I could think of when I saw volcano on the envelope. I know as much as you do. If there's no information about the sender on the letter, there's no information.
Sorry to trouble you.
How have you been? I'm doing fine here. It's been a long time. I miss you. The volcano is a spectacular sight. The winds are strong at the peak. Love, your father. The crooked words behind the photo seem to have been written while wearing thick gloves, making it hard to tell the writer's handwriting habits. The ink, letter and photo all show clear signs of age. Looking for something?
Are there any notes from my father in the museum archives?
Professor Katya, about what?
Anything, as long as it's his handwriting.
Let's see. Kara left some research materials from William University here, but Professor Katya's focuses on originium arts, so I'm not sure there's much about volcanoes. Volcanic plants, originium energy conversion in volcanic activity, data model for volcanic eruptions, all notes from Professor Magna.
Wait, this data model for volcanic eruptions doesn't seem to be Muti's.
She opens the notebook but finds only photocopies of research papers and spreadsheets. A few pages seem to have been ripped out of the end of the notebook.
I don't remember having seen this notebook before.
Me neither. The topic is up Professor Katya's alley though. What are you looking for, Adele? Is it urgent?
Can a letter be delayed so that it only reaches its destination years later?
It's not unusual for international mail to be lost, but if you're talking about a delay of several years...
A lot of strange things have happened these past couple of days, but I think if it was sent from Leithanian to Volcano, maybe I'm overthinking it.
It's not healthy to shut yourself in a room day after day. You should go take a walk if you feel like your head's not entirely clear. I happen to have something that I need help with. Do you know what obsidian is?
Volcanic rock?
Yes, obsidian mining was once Siesta's main source of income, but it was banned many years ago due to the impact of overexploitation on the environment. The ore samples were left behind when Siesta was relocated. The estimated time of eruption may be more accurate if we can find obsidian extracted from the volcano in the past 2 years. Not that it has any real meaning other than to shut the city council up. Keep the investors happy, I guess.
But we can't go near the volcano to collect obsidian samples, can we?
That's why we need a special channel.
A what?
Let's just say we'll be dealing with an eccentric customer. That's why I need your help.
Hello?
Welcome to the Obsidian Hot Springs Hotel. Bad meal or bath? The price list is right there. Just leave the money on the counter and you can go in.
What a beautiful place. Why does it have obsidian in the name?
Because obsidian is the soul of Siesta.
Why?
The solid yet refined texture, the rich and warm color. Its rare beauty captivates anyone who gazes upon it. Every piece of obsidian is unique. Do you get it? It's a treasure of nature, the essence of volcanoes. Are you interested in obsidian too?
Yes, I am.
Uncouth fools call obsidian a commodity. Commodity! Come, let me show you my collection. No need to be shy. Let me see. Shall we start here?
Thank you for the explanation. May I ask if you have any obsidian for sale in your collection?
No, absolutely not. This is a collection. Do you know what a collection is? Collections exist to be admired by someone who truly appreciates their beauty, not to be bought or sold. So you're one of those uncouth fools too. I guess there's nothing for us to talk about.
But...
That's enough, Pelper.
Khan?
I'll take it from here. You again. Sorry. We're closed for today. Have a good one. Be reasonable, Pelper. Siesta banned obsidian mining many years ago, but we're all aware that you know how to get more. We don't need much for the volcano research, and I'm not interested in all those ornaments you have. I just need a few that have been dug up from that volcano in the past 2 years. This is for Siesta. Come on, act like a normal person for once. There's nothing to talk about. I don't need you to tell me what's the proper Siestan thing to do.
Sorry, I couldn't.
It's okay. Let's go. Hey you, girl, 1 second. You look like you're easier to talk to than that bespectacled moron.
Have you changed your mind?
My stuff's not for sale, but it just happens that I do, in fact, know a source.
Thank you.
Don't tell anyone about this.
Of course.
Suddenly, sheep. With a mining helm. Adele puts her foot forward excitedly, but her path is blocked by the sudden appearance of a creature. The little black sheep before her strolls leisurely towards the shop's exit while chewing on an old Siestan sign. Suddenly, it steps slow as it sets its eyes on the sign outside the hot spring resort. It opens its mouth, bites a chunk out of the address, then continues its leisurely stroll.
Hey, why are you eating signs and addresses? Addresses? Don't tell me you ate the address on the envelope?
Alright, before we continue, we have one quick critter to add to our collection of enemies? Question mark? Nuisances? Nuisances. Let's go with nuisances. Titled Hot Spring Wandering Vagrant. A fluffy critter that has found something nice from the surf skate shop. So fast that it comes and goes without a trace. It's practicing its acceleration and turning for the upcoming lava surfing championships. Good for it. Anyway, we continue on with the after part.
Where should we go today? We've been banned from swimming in the hot springs. How about we get a few more guys and play hide and seek in that plate? Annie said we shouldn't go to the shore. I want to go to the volcano museum again. We couldn't find Dad the last time. No point, you won't find him. Hey, where is Annie's working today? It's Wednesday. He should be at Mr. Tom's shop in the afternoon.
The boy and the girl at the same time.
The drink shop! Chocolate. Strawberry.
Alright, alright.
Hey, is that a new flavor? What does cake flavored ice cream taste like? Can we have one?
Tom says only one scoop per kid per day.
But you don't eat ice cream. Can we have yours? Don't be like that. Ennis is always working hard.
I'm not a kid anymore.
But it's so hot today. There's less than one scoop left by the time the ice cream reaches your mouth. It's not fair.
Yeah, what should we do? It's so hot today. Cake flavored ice cream sounds great, doesn't it? The boy and the girl sharing an expectant look. Alright, you can have one more scoop, but only if you promise me to be back home by dinner and help Harley set the table. The boy and the girl at the same time.
Okay.
You say that every time. Let's hope you still have appetite by dinner. An ice cream cone floats by the little girl. She stares in amazement as a piece of ice cream melts in the midday sun. The strawberry flavored ice cream drops, forming a puddle on the ground. The invisible creature steps on it, leaving behind its footprints.
Huh? I think an ice cream just ran away.
Ice cream? Ran away?
I think it was strawberry too.
Does that mean we get another scoop if we catch it?
One ice cream, please.
3 gold certificates.
No freebies?
We're a business here, ma'am, not a charity.
Coffee flavor then.
Thank you for your business. Surprised to see foreign visitors at a time like this.
Maybe you underestimate the charm of this place. Why aren't you enjoying the summer? Back home, kids your age are hanging out on the streets, having fun. It's hard to be the big brother, I guess.
Got to make a living.
Do you know any instruments?
Instruments? I didn't even take singing lessons. Does kalimba count?
I think you'd go well with a saxophone.
Doesn't sound like I could afford it.
I'm in a good mood because I found a new job. Will you have a chat with me if I buy you a drink?
Sorry, but I have to get to my next job. Come to my family's shop if you want to chat.
You mean the logistics hub will help me sell my wares to other countries? Not only that, buying will be easier as well. You'll be able to procure fresh ingredients straight from the producers, for example. That doesn't sound too bad. Will you accept relocation then? And can MountainDash Logistics expect your vote in the upcoming public opinion survey? Sure. Really? I was planning to move to the city center anyway. Being able to buy Victorian clothes more easily sounds appealing. Thank you for your support. I won't take up any more of your time. No rush. Don't you want to learn more about about my fragrances? I know just the right ones for a cute boy like you. Okay.
Hey, kid.
Emperor, are you here on vacation too?
Vacation's a state of mind, and I'm on vacation every day. I would stay in an ordinary place in a summer like this, though. Nah, that's all secondary. I'm here to take back what's mine. Those dumbass sheep stole my favorite album. The one that won me the gold. First time I hit the Obsidian Festival. Serial number 000001. Sure, Doll is in a real small club of entities I can actually talk music with. But I gotta give him a piece of my mind for letting his clones run wild in this world. He really thinks his kids can hit the soul the way my music can?
Excuse me? Who's Dolly?
Man, forget it. I'm talking a conflict beyond mortal comprehension here. Anyway, what's got you hanging around these parts? And what's that smell on you? Like you rolled yourself in a Sargonian rainforest mud puddle 3 times, then fell into the champagne tower at a cocktail party.
That bad? MountainDash Logistics wants the rebuilding project for this commercial district, but we have competition.
Aw, you're playing a game of turf war here. Where's Ural? He just dumped all his work on you and run off on vacation.
I wouldn't put it that way.
Anyway, good luck, kid. Maybe swipe the stock he holding when his back's turned. Give him a little summer surprise. Then maybe we'll have something to talk about the next time I see him at a party. Oh, hold the conversation. Think I saw 2 sheep. Hey, give me back my album!
Sheep? Is the little black sheep still here? It's slow, we couldn't have gone far. Huh? The old sign over there too. You ate the address on the envelope, didn't you?
The furry creature wanders down the street, eating street sign after street sign.
Little black sheep, wait! Did you eat the envelope from that letter to the museum? Little black sheep!
Passerby turn around to look at the girl, who is crying out frantically while chasing empty air. She hardly has time to care for appearances as she huffs and pants, almost tripping over herself.
Little black sheep, wait! Finally done with this batch. Really got to be more careful about asking someone to take my shift. They're paying good money only for him to make so many mistakes. What's the next place? Hey, where did the address on the envelope go? Did someone tear it off? What's that? What happened to the addresses? I got for a minute and now they're all gone? Good thing I have the records on the terminal. But seriously,
What a bother. Me and my rotten luck. Well, I guess there's nothing to do but check one by one. The next shift is almost here. Better hurry. Run, Ennis, run. Run and make your dough. Take care of your siblings. Hey, look out! I can't stop with so much stuff on me! Hey! Whoa! My leg. Hey, you okay? Are you alright? Wake up! Doctor! Is there a doctor around here?
When are you going to get proper treatment, Ennis?
I'll go with you to Rhode Island once I'm done with this. My family can't do without.
A doctor shouldn't be hiding the identity of a patient. I understand your difficulties, but being responsible to your family means being responsible to your own health.
I know what to do. Dr. Salem, all Ripathy patients eventually die, don't they?
All of us eventually die, Oripathy or not. The end is simply clearer for people with Oripathy.
What eventually happens to people with Oripathy?
The symptoms exhibited by late-stage Oripathy patients may differ depending on the location of the condition. For example, Oripathy has damaged the hearing of the girl that you brought. She is almost completely deaf without a hearing aid. I hate to say it, but your originium crystal formation is near your heart, and it can be life-threatening if not managed properly.
Well, at least that means I'll have all my faculties until I die.
Say that again, and I'll deliver you to Rhode Island by force right now.
Just kidding. Thanks, Dr. Salem. Here's the money for both of us. I'll be going. Bye. The sun casts its rays on the bed. Adele slowly opens her eyes to the sound of muffled conversation.
You're awake. How are you feeling? You were knocked out after bumping into someone on the street. The young man brought you here and left behind all the money he had. Said it was for your medical bills. You must be careful, Eyjafjalla. The reason you passed out was low blood sugar, but I gave you a physical anyway, and I'm sure you can read the data about your Oripathy yourself. Thank you, Dr. Salem. I'm feeling fine now. Can I go? No. You're staying here for the rest of the afternoon. No going anywhere. I have a few patients to visit. You stay put. Rhode Island will hear if you're not here when I get back. Guess I lost it. What was that little black sheep trying to tell me?
Adele sits up on the bed. The photo falls out of her pocket. How have you been? I'm doing fine here. It's been a long time. I miss you.
I'm fine. How are you? Fati, Muti, in a few years I'll be the same age you were when I was born. What was life like for you at the time? Thank you so much for...
Drip, drop. Tears fall on the paper. Adele stops writing and crosses out what she had written down. Shift's about to start. Where are you? There's a lot of stuff to move. Almost there. Almost there. Mr. Ennis, the hot spring hotel shop that you asked about is now available for purchase. You will need to pay a deposit before the end of the month if you're still interested. Before the end of the month? Alright, I'll get back to you.
Ennis, are your brother and sister with you?
Brother and sister?
It's almost dinner time, and they're not back yet. Tell them to come back soon.
Alright. Dang nabbit! This stupid car! Freaking hell! Consarn it!
Are you okay?
What are you doing here?
Talking a walk.
That should be a typo right there.
Taking a walk. I followed the tourist guide's recommendation route, but the shops listed aren't any different from those in Lungmen, so I was about to go back. Were you picking a fight with this pickup truck?
The engine's old. Igniter doesn't work well.
Let me take a look. Someone's blocked the vent with a ball of paper. Who could have done it? Let's see. A flyer?
Must be some kid's practical joke. Well, I've got to be on my way. Thanks.
One moment. The mark on that box on the passenger seat and on the flyer. It's Rhode Island Pharmaceuticals, isn't it?
And we move on to stage number 3, titled Finger Family. Hold the thumbtack with one finger. Thread the needle with the index and middle. Use all 5 and pluck the strings of the northern wind.
So, this is the Rhode Island Siesta branch office.
How did you know?
I happen to have a few friends at Rhode Island. You're a tour guide, aren't you? Don't tell me you're giving tours of a pharmaceutical company now.
I was driving a guest.
Save me the excuses. It's dangerous for an neuropathy patient to hide his identity, regardless of reason. It's against the law, even in Siesta.
Yes, I know. But what am I supposed to do?
Then you work so many jobs and swindle me. Because of neuropathy?
And family. What happens to me doesn't matter, but I worry about what happens to them when I'm gone. I just need time until the shop moves and we have a new future. Don't look at me like that. I'm not asking for your sympathy.
No, I just remembered how much you charged me the other day compared to average taxi prices here.
Well, you lied about being a normal tourist.
Oh, you've got a sharper tongue than one would think.
What do you want?
Let's make a deal. You saw that chap from MountainDash Logistics the other day in the bar. He's my competitor. We're competing for the rebuilding rights in the commercial district, but he has home ground advantage. I need some local help to even the odds. You work for me, and I never saw you today. How's that?
You're trying to blackmail...
No. There's no need for such language. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And don't worry, you'll be paid.
I don't need a handout.
And I'm not giving out any handouts. All I want is a fair deal.
What's your deal?
I run a clean business here. We don't do forced relocations and the like. If everybody wins, so much the better. Now, There's always going to be controversy when it comes to rebuilding, but I promise that I'll do better than MountainDash Logistics. We've already worked together once, after all. May I count on your vote?
I just want my family's bar to be relocated smoothly.
Deal then. Oh, and one little word of advice. No matter what you have to deal with, the Ripafy treatment is not something that can be delayed. You should make up your mind soon.
Aren't you concerned about dealing with an infected?
I have a friend who's infected too.
Meanwhile, at the museum, it is almost closing time at the museum. There are no tourists, but the audio tours continue to play on loop. The massive mountain boulder remains silent in the empty gallery. The Neumanns left behind thousands of photos and samples. The rebuilding of the villages around Mount Una. They visited more than 100 volcanoes across numerous countries.
Did you really see it? Yes, I saw the ice cream coming here. I just wanted to come to the museum. I knew we wouldn't find it. He was lying to us. He didn't go to all those places.
How did you get in here? Get in. Admission is closed.
Sorry, we'll be going. Have you seen my dad?
Your dad?
We are looking for a adventurer. He went to a lot of places. In the photos he sent us, there were volcanoes, snow mountains, hills in nomadic cities. His photo might be in the Volcano Museum.
What's your father's name?
Chuck.
I've never heard of a volcanologist by that name. Maybe you should ask elsewhere.
I may know your dad.
What are you doing here, Adele? And you look awful.
You've seen him? You said your dad was an adventurer. Where has he been? I don't know. He always sends back photos when he visits a place. I think the last one was from Sargon. Sargon! I knew it. My parents were volcanic researchers. They told me a story about when they were surveying in Sargon. They quickly lost their way in the thick branches and leaves of the rainforest, and it felt like they were wandering around the stomach of a great beast. Just as they thought they would never get out, they saw a man with leaves all over him. Are you lost? Do you need any help? He pointed the way for them and took them out of the rainforest. They even saw a sight of sunny rain. My parents were really thankful. Thank you so much for helping us out of there. What is your name, sir? The man brushed off the leaves, took a photo of the rainforest and said, "No need to thank me. The name's Chuck. I'm taking this photo to send to my kids." And that's how the photo made it to you. Really? Sounds made up. Of course it's true. I think I have a photo here somewhere.
Adele digs through the papers and takes out a photo of the Neumanns smiling at the camera, with a few blurred figures behind them.
Look, here's your dad. I'm still not sure that's actually my dad. I can't see him clearly, but I hope he's my dad. That means he helped out adventurers find their way and sent us a photo. What a cool dad.
I didn't know you were a storyteller.
Just repeating something I heard from Mom when I was little, with a few adjustments here and there.
There's no reason for a professional volcanic survey team to accept help from an amateur. The story sounds entirely unscientific.
Science exists to bring hope to people, doesn't it?
Well, we can't have them running around the museum like this. If their parent or guardian isn't here, I'll take them home. You look tired, Adele. You should get some rest too. Come, kids. I'll take you home.
Khan, I think I should do it.
But you...
It's fine. Let me do it. They look lonely. I'll keep them company. Ennis! Ennis!
Where did you go?
I found out where Dad went. Make sure you tell your family the next time you go out.
It's you?
Huh? You're,
I'm the one who ran into you today and knocked you out. I'm Ennis. I'm their brother. Are you okay? Any dizziness? Did Dr. Salen said, she said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run off, but I had to go to work. I'll pay your medical expenses.
Dr. Salen told me everything. It's not your fault. Your little brother and sister must be hungry. You should go home.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
Call me Adele.
I'll remember. Little ones, don't you have something to say to Adele? The boy and the girl at the same time.
Thank you, Adele.
The mischievous boy reaches around the little girl's neck and pats her opposite shoulder.
Huh? Who's there?
The girl looks hesitantly at the troublemaker next to her, who pretends nothing has happened, but could not hold back his laughter. They chase each other into the shop, into the open arms of their mother, then run back out like frolicking beastling, while their mother tends to dinner being cooked on the stovetop. Adele breaks out in a smile.
That's so nice to see. Mr. Ennis, do you know one Mr. Pelipper? The Volcano Museum needs obsidian for its research. I heard you may be able to acquire some.
Damn, he just can't keep his mouth shut, can he?
Could I buy some from you?
You helped me so much, I should repay the favor. I dug these up around the volcano 3 months ago. They don't look great, but maybe they'll be useful for your research.
Thank you very much. However, I must ask you to stay away from the volcano. If you know anyone else who is mining for obsidian, please also tell them to stop doing so. Mount Siesta has entered its active period. Even if it hasn't erupted yet, originium activity in the area continues to increase. There is a risk of a ripophy infection without professional protective equipment.
Well, There is laughter coming in from outside, as the two children chase each other on the streets, as their shadows stretch in the setting sun. Ennis gazes at his siblings as they go further and further away, and subconsciously touches the spot on his chest where he was scratched by originium. Alright, I promise, I won't go anymore. And thank you for playing with my siblings. That should have been my responsibility as big brother.
It's okay. They're very cute. I had a good time too. By the way, your siblings said that your father has not been home for a long time?
He's a, adventurer, traveler, explorer. It's not like he's gone off the grid or anything. He sends postcards and money back on a regular basis. You can be present without actually being there. However, by the time we get a letter from him, he's already off to the next place. All we know is that there's someone out there, going from one corner of the land to the other. Sometimes I want to see for myself where he's been. Harley raised us here while running the shop, but she says that life is a journey and everyone chooses the sights they want to see.
If you don't mind me asking, why are the three of you all different races?
Well, we're not blood related. All three of us were adopted.
Oh,
No need to look at me like that. It's not exactly taboo. People come and go every year, some seeking a new life, some seeking romance. Many leave in disappointment when they find that life here isn't all it's cracked up to be, leaving behind children like us.
I can tell your siblings love you.
It must seem strange to outsiders, but for me, family is family. Ties of blood aren't that important. I don't know what my birth parents looked like. Maybe they abandoned me, or maybe they loved me and got into an accident. My new parents didn't hide anything from me. The little ones will be told the truth too, once they're a little older. Adele looks at Harley, working in the shop, and Anis's siblings, who are already shadows in the distance. Everything is warm and peaceful, like a dream. The obsidian feels heavy. She turns sideways and wipes away a teardrop from the corner of her eye.
How long were you planning to hide it from me, Anis?
Mom? Alright, I admit I have thought of remaking this place into a hot spring resort. I promise I won't try to do it behind your back. I won't do anything without your permission.
Once you've gotten everything in order, once arrangements for our future have been made the way you wanted, then you leave your mother and siblings behind the way you clear a drunkard out of the bar and find a place to wait for Ripley to take you. Is that the journey you've chosen for yourself?
You knew?
I was waiting for you to tell me. Mr. Anis, you're already...
Well, blame me and my fat fingers. I got scratched by Reginium when I was digging for obsidian at the volcano. I thought I was good at climbing. Yeah, I learned my lesson.
No, the only thing you learn to do is hide things from me, and you're not half as good as you think you are at it. You've got that look on your face that says I'm gonna finish everything, go far away and tell my blissfully ignorant mother everything in a farewell letter after I die. You think it's cool. Now you've got that look on your face that says I can't even say that's not what's going on.
I didn't think it was cool. I just felt like it's what I have to do as a big brother, as a part of this family. After all, we're not...
Even if you didn't do anything, you'll still be their brother and my son. There is no bargaining in love. If you insist on bargaining with me about this, young man, let me tell you that you'll be working off your debt for a long time. Oh, sorry. I thought some background music was in order for a scene like this. Name's Bird, traveling troubadour. Our resident singer.
You can afford a resident singer?
No, but this one only wants to be paid and a story. Your Casimir's story was wonderful. It helped a great deal in understanding the folk tunes of those parts. Can I borrow your guitar? Let me play a song. The evening mist covers the town. The rising new moon makes it look like a new place. My favorite place exists only in my sweet memories. I have nothing but my sweet memories. So you came here. How far can you see from here? It's all dark, just empty seas. Not being able to see means you can imagine. There's actually an island on the far side of the sea, and everyone who leaves Siesta lives on the island. I'm a little scared. When we grow up, will our parents and Ennis leave us? He won't. Ennis says we're an adventurer team. A team doesn't leave each other. We'll go back to old Siesta and many other places. You can't tell there's something on Ennis's mind?
What? How do you have something on a mind?
You're an idiot.
The girl stands up, gazes at the direction of the volcano, and yells with all her strength.
Hey, old Siesta! I miss you! Will you stop being angry? It's a loss for the Obsidian Festival that your performance was not part of it.
There's nothing to be lost. Siesta has heard my music many times. I don't need to compete for attention with young people at a music festival.
You're a Siestan with a rock and roll spirit.
In any case, I added the Siestan identity to a rock and roll spirit. Chuck and I met on our travels in Siesta. We heard about the wondrous sight of the white volcano, how the entire volcano turns white like a marshmallow under certain weather conditions. We spent a year in Siesta without seeing a sight of it, but we fell in love with the city and settled down here, opening a little shop. If we couldn't find the white volcano, we could make one ourselves. So that's how the shop got its name. I thought you two just came up with it on the fly.
Dr. Keller has talked about the legend of the white volcano before, but does it really exist? Might be snow if it's just the top of the mountain, but when you're talking about the whole mountain, I don't know of any phenomenon like that. Whether it actually exists or not is not important. The scene of legends has taken root in new soil, even creating a new legend of its own. What a beautiful story. This reminds me of an old song that was written in Siesta. May I? It's a long, long journey. I've ride on a ship with a broken mast. My home is 100 miles behind me. How charming is the summer sun. The north wind blows 100 miles, visiting the first volcano. We'll meet again along the forgotten trail.
Oh, I remember now. This is it. The north wind blows 100 miles, visiting the first volcano.
That's the north wind you're looking for?
Having a tune play itself over and over in your head, but not being able to remember the lyrics is the 7th most painful thing in the world. I'm feeling much better now. Thanks. Adele? Who are you talking to?
Myself. I'm just thinking about the north wind in the lyrics. But Siesta is north of the ocean. It should be the south wind in the summer. I'm reminded of a story about the songwriter. I think it was back in 1060. His album Lost tells the story of how he got lost in the hills on a camping trip and had to be rescued. The album was a smash hit and cemented how the singer couldn't find the north. Maybe he got his directions mixed up. Is that all there is to it? The events of the past can often feel like a joke. We just see a snapshot preserved in time, but the actual truth is elusive. That's why the present is so precious, isn't it?
Ain't that right? What are you doing, Ennis? Putting the sign up. Huh, you stubborn boy. A hand, Mom? Ennis stands on the ladder, lifting up the shop sign. He takes the hammer and nail from his mother and goes to work pinning it above the door. The power switch is pulled, and neon illuminated words begin to glow against the sun's last light.
White volcano?
Flashback. The original messenger for this batch called in sick. The letter was already like that when I got it. This was the only place I could think of when I saw volcano on the envelope. I know as much as you do. If there is no information about the sender on the letter, there is no information.
How have you been? I'm doing fine here. It's been a long time. I miss you. The volcano is a spectacular sight. The winds are strong at the peak. Love, your father. Mr. Ennis, might this photo be from your father?
My father? This is Mount Una. He really did go there. Mom, Dad sent a photo. Want to see?
Write back to him and tell him that he loses his bet if he sends another postcard photo, and not one that he actually took himself. After all, I raised my son to be cool, while all he does is steal other people's photos. Real adventurers don't do that.
I'll bring these obsidian samples back. We should have a more accurate estimate of the eruption time.
Glad to be of help.
Adele, do you know why Keller called you to Siesta?
Some of the exhibits in the Volcano Museum were connected to my parents' research. Dr. Keller asked me to help organize things. I'm not sure I understand your concerns. In their last days, my parents were studying the relationship between orogenium veins and volcanic activity. There are many other people doing the same. Why would there be danger?
I wasn't sure it was my place to tell you what Dr. Neumann tried to hide from you, but hide this any longer and you may never have the chance to learn the truth. In the year before Dr. Neumann died, her lab was frequently contacted by the personal army of a Lithuanian Kurfürst.
Army?
The Neumanns were experts in orogenium and ecology. Their research converged on the prediction and prevention of catastrophes. But someone may have seen another possibility in their research.
Weaponization.
I was studying abroad at the time, so what I knew was limited to rumors in my classmates' messages. There was only one person who had access to their research. Keller. Alright, before we continue, we have one new critter here to add. One nuisance? Fashion Street Ordinary Aviator. A fluffy critter that has found something nice from the aviation shop. It can fly, but it's not very good at it. Sometimes it can float up real high, but don't mistake it for a pink cloud. Sure, I won't. Anyway, continuing with the after part. Found it. Found it. Found it when the foul beast was singing. How's the weather today? All good until the bad happens. Time's of the essence. Our party is about to begin. Why did you only arrive just now?
Me?
Say no more. I can tell at a glance that you're different from the other mediocre people. I suggest you join our grand plan.
Grand plan? What are you going to do? Where am I? And why am I wearing Muti's clothes?
We will find what we like most, carry it on our backs, and never take it off again. It is so very heavy, so heavy that I won't be able to straighten my back. but it is very important. Why do you have nothing on your back? No, no, she does have it on her back.
Good evening, child. Did you hear the bell? Bell? No, but that might be because I can't hear very well most of the time.
Then you should also come and join our party.
Where is it?
When next the bell rings at the end of the world. But before that, I have something to show you. It looks like my memory is correct. These stone specimens and red-colored photos, these are what you've been brought here to see. The gentle creature walks forward with light footsteps. Look, these rocks have been alive for thousands of and 10,000s of years. They were buried here, deep beneath the ground, long before we were here. They are so beautiful, so passionate. Though they were deep underground, hundreds of miles apart, they eventually came together and brought forth a marvelous eruption. You love them, don't you?
Volcanoes? I do.
Volcanoes or rocks, they're all very precious treasures. But my dear ADELE, what if someone used them to do bad things? What would you do?
Bad things? Like what?
A pretty nice party it was. A pretty nice party it'll be. The north wind we found. But where are these seeds in the ground? Oh, the party's about to begin. ADELE, would you like to bring a rock to the party? Then let us make haste. What's wrong? What's on your mind?
I'm sorry to say this, but Little black sheep, are you Mr. Dolly?
I am Dolly, but I am also not Dolly. Who I am depends on what I am in your mind.
There are some differences between you and Mr. Dolly. Are all of those little black sheep?
No. We cannot say all. Each and every one is unique, as is their connection to the world. Just as we refer to you, we would not call all of them ADELE. Every ADELE is unique.
Okay. So why did you invite me here?
Because of the north wind. Because we wish to share the joys of harvest. Every participant in this party has been chosen, including you, my dear ADELE.
The things I've experienced the last few days have truly been mind-boggling.
That too is a part of life. Are you happy right now, little one?
I don't know.
Let me take a look. I believe you are not very happy right now. Look over there. She is the proof. The little black sheep looks down from atop the chest. A tiny, fragile creature tries to jump up. Once, twice. Try as it might, it cannot jump onto the chest.
Is it alone?
She looks very weak right now. Too weak to jump.
Can we help her out?
Not right now. Only when the volcano erupts will she become herself.
Is she also one of your kind?
Yes, eventually everyone will become one of us. Morning, Adele. Would you like some breakfast? Why do you look so tired? Want me to make you a cup of coffee?
Good morning. I seem to have had a really long and strange dream last night, and I'm still a bit out of it.
You know what they say around here. The emotions that overflow too much during the day are left over for you to savor in your dreams at night.
What was the dream about again? I seem to remember something about it being very noisy and lively. It's true, I really saw it all.
Yes, I believe you.
And because of that, you're not allowed to have any ice cream for 2 months for sneaking out of your room at midnight and sneaking over to the land by the sea. Aww. But I saw a little lamb run into my room last night, and it took me to a place where there were a whole bunch of other lambs. There were a whole bunch of lambs, as fluffy as marshmallows, singing and dancing on top of a chest.
If what you say is true, a flock of sheep invited you to join their midnight party.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because I've been a good girl.
Meanwhile, a complete mess. Up until yesterday, specialty products from various countries shipped by MountainDash Logistics had all been stockpiled here. If nothing unexpected happened, they would have appeared at the trade fair in a few days to show the tourist city what the outside world looked like. But now, there are overturned shelves everywhere the eye can see, goods strewn haphazardly across the ground, dusty footprints stamped atop some of them. How did this happen? And we move on to stage number 4, titled A Sailor Went to Sea. What has been swallowed can be spat back out. What is left can return. Everything changes. Nothing changes. And we begin this part in a completely different place. I'm telling you, everything's weird about that Ann Meyer no-tail. She eats food and gets eggshell in her mouth. She takes her turn crossing a bridge and the rope somehow snaps. She builds a house and a waterfall floods it. She goes fishing and gets caught by a fin. Oh, I remember Inam said something about being a... what was it? Born under an unhunky star?
Born under an unlucky star. Don't forget to give Ann Meyer your thanks, you two. With the way you practically party on the job, who knows how long building these houses would have taken without her.
Boom.
What's going on? How did the door explode? It's fine. I can fix it up ASAP. I was blow drying the glue on the hinges, and I probably futzed the hairdryer.
Glue? That's my wine pot. Well, Nosy gave it to me.
You've moved everything over, right?
Everything's here now. We spent all morning shifting it. I'm gonna take myself a good long bath tonight.
All morning? This is freight of some kind. Coffee? Yes, it's Siestan coffee. We've opened up a trade route with Siestan merchants, and these are the first goods they sent. Let me take a look. I think I can see the instructions on these bags. Roast the flower seeds and coffee beans together. Siestans adjust the bitterness of their coffee that way. My grandpa made coffee like that too, when I was young. I believe he was a Siestan, Miss Anmeyer. Yeah, but we moved to Colombia so long ago. Once I finish work this month, I'll have enough saved to catch a ride back to Siesta. Huh. I would have let Siesta's merchant take you back if I knew. They left just an hour ago. What?
Back to the museum. Observation Diary. Mount Una, Northern Lithuanian, September 3rd, 1095. Goal of observation: obtain first-hand survey data for the eruption of Mount Una. Calculate numerical originium particulate concentration gradient decrease in surrounding environment at time of eruption. Establish a theoretical model. Estimated observation time 5 hours. Observation team: Katja, Magna, Keller. In an old notebook is sandwiched a photograph. 3 people lined up in mountaineering gear. 3 smiling faces reddened by the alpine wind.
Professor Keller was there in the team lineup too.
Flashback. She was meant to be a member by all rights on that observation. But the day before they ascended, Keller suddenly left the team and went back to William University.
She withdrew just like that? Was there some reason for it?
It's a mystery, and the observation diaries don't make a single mention of it. All we know is right after that accident, Keller showed up at a meeting between William University and the Lithuanian government.
Mr. Dolly, were you there then? You still won't pay attention to me until I find what you're looking for. You know, Mr. Dolly, have you heard of volcano watchers? They're a kind of flower that changes color based on a volcano's activity. Is it the seeds of those flowers you're looking for? Or obsidian, maybe? With how they're buried in the soil, the black crystals look a lot like seeds too, don't they?
Adele mumbles to herself, garnering no response, and the tremendous volcanic rock specimen before her is as taciturn as ever.
Am I just overthinking this? Mr. Dolly, I'll only be able to find what you're looking for that quickly if you give me more of a hint.
Adele, are you searching for something?
No, Professor Keller.
Keller watches Adele close the notebook and put it away in the storage box. Adele hangs her head, picks up the other files around her, and buries her parents' notes beneath them. Adele, if anything is gnawing at you, you can come straight to me. Adele is silent for a spell.
Nothing I can think of, Professor Keller.
I'm here to catch you up on some matters. According to data sent back from the forward sensor station and analysis of the obsidian sample, we've concluded that Mount Siesta's eruption may well come a few days soon. Readings from the mountain have always been unusual. Active energy from its internal originium veins peaked 2 years prior in the summer, then rapidly fell after, before once more slowly rising. We don't have much time left to prepare. We'll need to act soon. Oh! The volcano's erupting soon? How lucky can we be?
Mr. Dolly, please don't jump out of nowhere.
Adele, are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Adele, I know with the ample experience you've already boast as a scholar,
Pre-observation prep work amounts to little more than busy work for you. But please maintain your focus, okay? I'm sorry, Professor Keller.
Ah, so your professor caught you playing hooky.
Oh, yes. Have you bumped into any peculiar tourists at the museum lately? Did something happen? A whistling rock specimen in the hands-on area went missing. A whistling rock? One that sounded musical when blown through? It looks like we'll want to report to City Hall's people to increase security at the museum too. I'll keep a lookout myself. Maybe it's something about the weather. There's been a lot of strange things happening lately, and authorities say cases of people losing their own possessions have been unusually high. I was listening to the news this morning and someone apparently took out their grudge on the depot at the unfinished plate too. They made a complete mess of it over there.
Manager, we've run up the damaged goods. Nothing really unaccounted for. It's mainly notable damage to the outer box packaging. Aside from some foodstuffs, we haven't lost too much at all.
Good. Noted. I'm sorry to have this sort of thing happen in Siesta. It was caused by the carelessness of our own work. I can only ask this won't impact your thoughts on collaborating with us. Of course, if you do decide to suspend partnership, I'll report the full reality to Mayor Herman. Though, in that event, I imagine it'll be tough on him to lose a business partner, and tough on me to lose my job. Assigning blame is secondary. I first need to ensure nothing like this will happen again. It looks like people really aren't welcoming MountainDash's plans for the new plate. I'm glad that I can still be wholly face-to-face with you to coordinate business. Excuse me? Given that having the residents here accept the redevelopment isn't meant to be part of your work at all. MountainDash Logistics' future collaborations with Siesta can't stand independent on their support. I don't want the people to deem the redevelopment a form of unilateral imposition. That you're concerned at all is really gratifying. Things being what they are, I'd appreciate City Hall keeping an eye on security work around the warehouse. Fingers crossed no accidents like this will be happening again. Alright, I'll pass on your comments, and I'll make sure they lead to some action. For my job, my rent, and my worried fiance's sakes, I thank you, Mr. Bison. If you have no other arrangements here, I'll be continuing my efforts to talk the commercial district into signing the relocation LOI. Miss Swire, I'm deeply sorry I couldn't show you the proper hospitality when you paid a visit earlier. How has your impression of New Siesta been over your tour these past few days? Very clean, very eye candy, but missing a little sense of amusement, possibly even stiff. To be honest, I more prefer how it used to be.
Very coincidentally, my daughter said much the same thing. But Siesta's been forced to leave its golden shoreline, which means it's only a matter of time before tourism fails as our economic backbone.
Oh, pity. I was quite fond of that old Siestan fashion street and all. You're very much confident about partnering with MountainDash Logistics, I take it?
I have just as much hope in the differing solutions you provide, Miss Swire. On that note, your family's group maintains its clarion reputation. It was a surprise, though, that their candidate for investment executive was you. I also just happened to learn that you've apparently registered a new business here in Siesta, operating in the construction, cultural, and recreational fields.
It appears your trust isn't quite in me, Mr. Mayor. You think I don't hold enough clout in the conglomerate yet?
Of course not. The future is always in your hands as the young ones. Just the dealings we had with the corporation from Victoria happened to pop into my head. That was 30 plus years ago by now.
Freeing itself from swollen ambitions of Victoria wasn't a casual affair for the Siesta of then. Anyone even remotely familiar with Siesta history would understand that. And the sheer capacity you demonstrated in the dispute, Mr. Mayor Herman, still has politicians abuzz today. For my part, you don't need to be too anxious. I'm not here in any convoluted capacity. Besides, all I brought are sincere partnership and more business opportunities.
You, Miss Swire, intend to contest MountainDash Logistics for rights to develop the newly constructed plate. I, of course, am willing to see friendly competition from both sides, and Siesta is always welcoming of partnership in good faith. I very much look forward to the proposal you submitted bidding, and wish you pleasant journeys for the rest of your time in Siesta. After you're back in Lungmen, please send your grandfather my regards.
I'm not signing this thing. We've already moved once before, and you're still putting us through this rigmarole. And how do you expect us to make a living once you shut our place down anyway? If the mayor can't give us a clear explanation, we're not even thinking about relocating.
Or are you going to force us? Costa, you wormed your way into City Hall. Those bigwigs don't even live in the same universe as us, and now all you can do is jump when they say jump? You can't figure something out with us? Even if you're not here to take over your grandpa's coffee shop, we still need these streets to make a living. We've been racking our brains looking for a way to spark business here again. Help us think of something, okay?
Oh, if it isn't Mr. City Hall himself, here to kick us out of our street again. Forget the moment you wore that fancy uniform just where you came from. I'm ashamed for your grandfather. I hate my job.
Excuse me, is my ice cream ready?
Coming right up. Sorry for the wait. Here, your quadruple scoop.
By the way, that man who got his head chewed off, who's he?
Never mind him. Just an ill omen trying to tear our homes down.
Got what I asked for.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone notice you coming here?
Officer, I'm sorry to report. Lieutenant Liv saw me.
What? Alright, is that out of our systems? You can hand me the stuff now.
Did you get down with insiders like this as a cop too? It's kind of cool. This bag has general info on every shop in the commercial district. How many live at each, roughly how their business is doing, the personalities of the owners you asked about. I've noted you down a little of all that. In this bag is a series of MountainDash's recent maneuvers. Something about some kind of purchase of Siesta specialities, and they say they're selling them off to Victoria and Columbia. In pretty decent quantities too.
Well, get going. How did you even get your hands on these MountainDash files?
Totally simple. Just had to apply to be a freight trucker with them.
Well, Signs say that Bison Kid's trying to buy out the people's will this way. Yes, that does seem his style. Suppose he manages to build a new distribution center here. Would the populace here want to switch jobs?
Ennis, give me a Kurakawa. You got it. What's got you so moody? I can tell, actually. You're sick of it too, no? Hanging the sign back up again and all? You guys doing a little protesting that way? All this crap is a killer. The love fouls next door were all over each other at first. Now they're arguing day and night about the rehousing. Here's your drink. One Kurakawa.
There's negative interest in moving on this street.
For the most part, yeah. Moving means planning a whole new life from scratch. We only just moved aboard the nomadic city, even, and a lot of us are still getting used to it. Even tourists are a rarity now, after all. Business is hard enough as it is, and plenty ended up unemployed. Move again and life gets even harder. Ennis shakes his head and gives up on the subject.
Ennis, if I wanted to run a place like yours, how much would upkeep be on average?
Per month, about 500 gold certificates. Just under that?
That little?
I could buy a lot of stuff secondhand elsewhere, or just make it myself. Plus, with how we usually conserve on utility bills, it adds up to a lot less than you think. Sometimes it really makes me wonder how rich people like you just go on your whole lives without much worry. Does a person just need enough money and everything in life shakes out how they want?
Money's a hassle killer, but not an issue solver.
If we have to move, if there's no other choice, then what are you thinking? Once you get contracted for this plate, what are you going to build here?
I'd rather ask you first. If our rebuild is guaranteed, then what would you want this high street to become?
Strictly in fantasy terms? A giant water park. We'd build the land's biggest water park, second to none. Maybe it might even draw in some tourists. That way, we wouldn't need to let this bar go either. Probably. And plus, my little brother and sister have been hounding us forever about going to a water park.
Oh, good idea.
Is that all it takes? You make me feel like you're not even here to compete for real versus the MountainDash boy.
Plenty who've vied with me thought the same thing.
And?
They all rolled over and lost.
That's some kind of power. Ennis!
Ennis, help me plan the shop sign here. The trade fair's right around the corner, and we need our storefront looking the best it can.
Coming! You know, we still have paint left over from last time, and I bought a couple of string lights for cheap a few days ago. Want me to go put these up in a bit?
Sure, and if there's any paint left after that, give the tables and chairs and picture frames a new coat too. Let the live were saying they learn how to draw from someone, right? Can you tag them in too?
Sure, will do now.
Hey, Ennis. Paint the sign in orange. I have eyes you can trust. This'll draw in more customers than before, guaranteed.
Costa forgets how he even got here. At some point since moving to New Siesta, this atypically architected building cropped up on his route home from work. Buried somewhere in him is the impression he'd handled its paperwork. The Volcano Museum? Why would people go to all the effort to put a museum for this on this luxurious plate? What's the study about volcanoes? Stop it!
Nuh-uh, I wanna see the big rock. I wanna see the lava.
Why you're desperate to see this stuff is a total mystery.
Volcanoes are really cool.
Cool. A phrase floats to Costa's mind. You can see such beautiful things from the tops of volcanoes. He vaguely remembers someone telling him.
Can you name all these volcanoes? I can.
Why would I ever need to know?
Okay, I'll tell you. This one is Mount Tambora. This one is Mount Katla. This one is Mount Merapi. This one is Mount Yes,
sir.
Well, you were behind me and you just came up and said a thing and you scared me.
Sorry for that. How did I know that? I don't remember anymore.
I knew Mount Yasur. I knew that. It's the prettiest volcano on the land. And on top of it, you can see flowing lava everywhere. And they're like gentle little streams. I got that all from a book. I remember it really, really well. But I can't find any signs that explain stuff here. I need to show you how I got everything right.
You did, you're right. Are we done? There's not even a placard inside here. We're going. Apologies for inconveniencing you on your trip. This exhibition area isn't fully arranged yet, but explanatory texts will soon be laid out on these.
No, Mr. Volcano Man, I'm not done yet. You gotta keep listening.
Costa is stuck by the hem of his jacket, somewhat helplessly stopped in place. He tries to explain that he really needs to go. He turns his head, and reflected in the glass display shelves, he sees an unexpected face. You? Costa? You're back? We transition into a flashback. And it ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud. Yes, ladies and gents, it's my life. Bon Jovi is canon in this world. And no, while I was very, very tempted to use actual music here, if I would have used the actual track, even for this just little bit, this video would have crashed and burned on YouTube. So apologies. I wanted to though. Anyway. My bad. I didn't realize there were customers in. That's weird though. How come someone's sitting in a cafe reading quietly while the Obsidian Festival is on? You mind if I practice guitar here? No, Grandpa will rag on me for bothering customers again. Maybe I'll just bide my time so I get a new guitar sooner. What's that you're reading? A book about volcanoes? This is pretty cool. Can you lend me it? Will you be here again tomorrow? Alright, and we have a new critter to add here, which is the big fella. A humongous and somewhat slow-moving fluffy critter. Its sturdiness possibly stems from never picking at its food. Sometimes it will spit out few little fellas. They might have been eaten by accident earlier. Not sure how I feel about that one, but okay. Anyway, we continue with the after part. Oh, looks like you're all done sorting. Nice job.
Mr. Dolly, shouldn't you keep an eye or two on your clones? Do you know how much trouble they make for everyone, letting them run amok like this?
The fluffy creature stands by a container, its head stooped very low, seemingly conveying some apology to the person in front of it.
I told you, not all of them are mean. Did bring them here, true, but I'm only indirectly to blame here, right? So, sorry? Just saying sorry isn't going to fix this. If their merchandise gets damaged, what are the shopkeepers going to do? Your clones are being nuisances. Can't you do anything to stop them?
I do actually have something. Under normal circumstances, I could choose to cry.
Cry?
Like this, I face into whatever the sea, the wasteland, and lift 2 hooves up like this, and then I yell, "Hey! Where are you guys? Come here quick!" Like that. Adele, you're going to have to help me for that. I've cried too many times, so sometimes they act like they haven't heard me.
So we just have to call them over?
We need something to lure them to, like ice cream here, or we've got balloons and skateboards and stuff. But remember, don't call them little black sheep or lambs. They won't even know you mean them.
Dolly looks expectantly up at Adele.
Hey, ice cream here. Hey, we have balloons and skateboards. Come here quick. What? Ice cream? Is it free? Miss, is it true? I want strawberry.
Is there some kind of event? Are you giving out balloons?
Huh? No,
Adele turns, looking to point out the deed doer. Dolly's jumped up on the neighboring containers, running circles around them like a deflating balloon. But the pedestrians just don't see it.
Uh-oh, something's happened. You're gonna have to go get ice cream with them to fix this, and probably buy balloons too, and ramble the streets and soak up the Siestan sun. Tough one, huh? What a big coincidence that I know of a very good ice cream shop. How about I lead the way?
Mr. Dolly. So this is how you corral visitors into your volcano museum, buying ice cream for strangers. I think I like this. Dearie, how about we spend the afternoon exploring the museum?
Perfect. Then after that, we'll go for barbecue.
Let's go. Thank you very much.
Adele sees the group off and looks around, trying to find any trace of Dolly. In the stream of pedestrians, Dolly has all but vanished already. All that's there is a lone little black sheep, staring pointedly at a wallet turning into bills in a wandering tourist's hands.
What's it about to do?
Right as the tourist and shopkeep are haggling, it leaps forth, and in one chomp, makes off with the tourist's wallet.
Huh?
Where'd my wallet go? Someone stole my wallet! Huh? What kind is it? Dark or light? Just now? But I didn't see anyone, did you?
Oh no, Mr. Dolly's not here either. I have to catch it quick.
The little black sheep holding the wallet notices Adele, opens its mouth, and the wallet falls out. Then with a kick of its hoof, it goes sailing through the air and falls back down straight into its wall. It delightfully trots. Then it seems the wallet hits something with a bang, and a pebble full of holes shoots out from the little black sheep's coat.
That's the whistling rock.
The little black sheep looks back, and before the rock lands, it kicks again with its hoof to send it flying straight back in. And after all that, it sticks its tongue out at Adele with an impish expression and turns to gallop down Fashion Street.
Hey, wait up! Give everyone their stuff back.
That $3 gold certs are rare collectibles here. They'll fetch a big price at the trade fair. Miss, are you sure you won't think about it? I've got a price I can give you. The dealer gestures out a number.
Really? Could you take a look at this then?
This is all Higashini's issue. I'll take it for this much.
And this?
A Gaulish copper liver.
I'll take it too. Miss, what else have you got? Bring it all out! Miss, how much did you bring? Last one, I swear, the very last one. I'll take one more and then I'm going home.
Then take a look at this. After this, I could afford a whole new device.
Ah, it's our own Sargonian mint. Let me see. We've got... Gabriel!
Yep. Is that valuable?
Valuable? No. This is the end of our talk. I don't do any business with Thintails. You take all of this back. I'm leaving. The dealer grabs a handful of loose coinage and furiously shoves it into Snowsand's hands, attempting to leave. Suddenly, something speeds by, knocking the coins right out of its grip. Money rains gold and glittering to the high street pavement, and before Snowsand can yelp in surprise, a pink shadow follows right after, running into the distance.
Eyjafjalla? Sorry, Snowsand.
What the hell?
Wait, my coins! I'm missing two!
Don't look at me! Clink! The fluffy creature stashes the gleaming little roundlets into its own bowl. Mr. Eastman, I'm here to pick up my photocopies. Right, all these flyers of yours. You really put your back in, printing this much just to advertise your bar. $2.98, $2.99, that's exactly right. Here's the fee. I'm not taking any money off you for this. I'll just say, next time I drop in at the White Volcano, mix me your house oasis. Heavy on the ground cardamom. Appreciate it. Also, can you help change out my shop sign 1 minute? Of course I can. Thank you.
Mr. Ennis!
Adele? What's the hurry?
Look out! Look out!
Before Ennis can react, a giant force smacks straight into him. Sent airborne for an instant, he sees Siesta upside down, and paper scattering everywhere. Oof! What just... The little black sheep snatches a flyer in its mouth and resumes its straightaway gallop.
Mr. Ennis, I'm sorry.
Huh? Several stare as Adele shrinks into the horizon, giving chase to a flyer blowing in the wind. Times really are a-changin'. Youngsters have such an urgent schedules these days. Weird, what knocked me over just now? I've never seen anything as strange as this. Crash! The Eastman print shop sign falls down and lands right where Ennis was still standing a moment ago. These sheep are a menace.
Where did it go?
It's like hide and seek.
Mr. Dolly, this isn't the time to play around. If we don't catch the little black sheep soon, more people are going to lose their things.
No. They aren't going to lose anything. They're just borrowing it for a little fun. They'll give it all back. Actually, why do you never play with children your age? Are you just going to keep yourself shut in a lab, even on a summer like this?
Mr. Dolly, I'm not a child anymore, and studying Mount Siesta is a very important job I shouldn't be distracted from. But right now, finding these little black sheep is more important so we can stop them causing a ruckus.
I know how lonely children work. I know how many love using I'm busy with work as an excuse.
The shop looks empty, but the little black sheep just...
Who are you?
Excuse me, I lost my pet. It ran off. I think I saw it enter this coffee shop just now.
Adele blabbers as she lifts her head and sees Mockingbird Cafe in pretty type across the shop door. This cafe went out of business a year ago. The door is always locked.
But I definitely saw it wriggle inside just now, straight through.
What kind of pet did you lose?
A pack beast.
No. Don't you associate my clones with those animals?
Okay, a pack beast. Costa feels around in his pocket and pulls out a key, which he inserts, twists, and with a few ancient-sounding creaks, the door yawns open. It's dark inside. All the blinds are down, repelling much of the sunlight from entering. The air stirs with dust and a yesteryear aroma of coffee. Is your back beast in here?
I don't think it is. I'm so sorry. Sorry to bother you.
That's fine. I was just here to pick up a few things anyway. The property deed should be... No, not there.
Sir, are you the owner of this cafe?
Not anymore, I won't be. The shop and all of the shops on this street are due to be demolished soon.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. The demolition isn't news to anyone here. Not in this cupboard either.
Sir, what does it look like? The thing you're looking for? I can help you, maybe.
It's a red binder.
It really is dark.
Girl, are you sure you can see anything in here?
The place closed ages ago. Might be tricky to get the lights on. It's fine if we can't find it. I'm not in that big of a rush. Carry on searching for your pet. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Come on, girl. There's no clones of mine here, and no whatever you're looking for. Off to the next location. It's all pitch black. I can't see a thing. Nothing like when I went surfing in Siesta before.
So, what does it look like?
It's a pink and white back beast carrying a volcanic rock on it. The kind that whistles in the wind.
That whistles in the wind. Is it named Whistling Rock?
Yes, it is. How do you know?
Costa continues rummaging. He pulls open a dust-caked cupboard, out of which falls a vintage guitar, smashing straight onto his knees. Bling!
Sir, are you alright?
The sound of the guitar's impact rings in the air, a lingering acoustic hum, as if someone was playing on it. They sound just like that when blown across those stones, like you could perform music on them. I'm getting sidetracked.
The romance. Whistling rocks are like guitars. How did I never think of that?
Is your pet carrying one of those? That's an odd luxury. If I remember right, it's fairly uncommon.
It took it all by itself.
You're going to humiliate me. Don't tell people my clones are kleptomaniacs.
Okay, if I see it, I'll get in touch with you. How should I go about doing that?
Oh, thank you. Please contact the Volcano Museum if you can. I'm one of the staff there. My name's Adele.
With another mysterious bump, all the old odds and ends in the cupboard slump into a landslide across the floor, burying the guitar beneath. Damn it!
Sir, are you sure you don't need help? It seems like you're not in that good of a mood.
A book falls into Adele's view. Under the light from outside, she parses its title clearly.
The Atlas of Terra's Volcanoes? Are you interested in volcanology too?
No, well, no. It's not as if I hate it. I mean, this isn't my book. Let's get outside for now. You work at the Volcano Museum. Do you know a Keller?
I know Professor Keller. Are you friends?
She used to be a regular here, I guess. One summer, she suddenly left Siesta together with 2 Lithuanians. I never got in touch with her after that. How's she been? She's doing alright at the museum, right?
Right, Professor Keller has been occupied with survey prep for Mount Siesta, and the museum's still under improvement. She's very busy.
She and you both work at the museum?
Professor Keller is its curator.
Curator? Now, that's something. Well, if you can, please return this book to Kel. To the curator for me.
Where am I? There am I. Find me if you can. Take the flowers in, maybe behind them's where I am.
The little black sheep frolics about before stopping by a street lamp.
Bang!
The little black sheep leaps into the air and before Adele's eyes vanishes like a cloud blown away in the breeze. With a ring and a clatter, a pebble, 2 coins, a sheet of paper and a wallet all fall on the ground.
Hide and seek.
Mr. Dolly!
Not me. But you didn't spend all of the day cooped up inside the museum. You went out for a walk, you ate ice cream, you bought balloons, the sun's fine, the people are wonderful, and you've made a new friend, haven't you? That's the stuff of life.
What is the seed you're after? Is this rock a seed?
You need to look slowly, take your time. The sun's tomorrow's just as fine. Where am I? Where am I? Find me if you can.
Is it one of these coins? Or what's on this poster? Letter of intent for relocation? Is a coffee bean the seed, Mr. Dolly?
Take the flowers in, maybe behind them's where I am. Bang!
And this will be it for today's part. So then, we had some comedic moments, quite a bunch of them actually, and we had some very emotional moments as well with our dear Adele and her missing her dear mother and father. But stuff is happening, stuff is schmoving, and we'll see where it leads in the next parts. So for now, all I can say is, as always, if you enjoyed this part, please consider leaving a like on it. It would help me out a lot and mean a lot as well, or rather, yeah, mean a lot to me as well to see that you guys are enjoying these narrations. And of course, if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it also is always nice to communicate back and forth and see see how you guys enjoy the story. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There is a lot more on the channel. If you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy probably the rest that is there as well. So thank you very much. And of course, if you want to support me and my work more directly, there are memberships on the channel as well. And like I always say, there will be no video behind a membership. It is purely there to have a more consistent support and, you know, cash flow each month, essentially. So yeah, for the 2 members that are already there so far, thank you very much, much appreciated. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.